Good morning. This lesson is on factoring with GCF. After we're done factoring with GCF, if you do not need this, you can actually start, if you'd like to start, by going to iExcel, clicking Algebra 1, Section AA2, and you can do that lesson on Excel, and this would be your assignment that goes with these notes. Now, if you do not remember how to do a GCF, I want to go over a couple of common things with it. Remember, greatest common factor is what GCF is. What that means is it's the greatest common factor that I can pull from all terms in a polynomial. So the best way to show is through example. So let's start with this example here. We'll do 3 examples total. I have 8x4 minus 4x cubed plus 10x squared. Now I look at the number of parts in all terms and I try to find out what number can I divide evenly into 8, 4, and 10. The biggest possible number, which in this case is 2. Then I look at the variable parts of each term. x4, x3, x2. They all have an x and they all have at least 2 of them. So I go ahead and put x squared. Then I open my parentheses and I write what's left. So I take my 8x4 and I divide it by 2x squared. Remember, factoring a greatest common factor is basically doing the opposite of distribution. So distribution is you take this and you multiply it by all these terms and you get something that looks like this. We're doing the opposite. So we're taking this and we're like undistributing it, which is factoring. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide instead of multiply. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. x4 divided by x squared is x2. Remember, when you divide terms or exponents with the same base, x and x, you subtract the powers. So 4 minus 2 gives you 2. Minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then x3 divided by x2, this one with just x to the 1 or just x. Then I go 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then x squared divided by x squared cancels. They cancel. So we just leave it as 5 and we close our parentheses. That is all we do. That is our answer. Now we're going to go ahead and do example 2. So for example 2, it says x cubed y squared plus 3x to the 4th power y plus 5x to the 5th power and y cubed. Now looking at all these terms, I notice this term, its coefficient is 1, 3, and 5. The greatest term that can go into 1, 3, and 5 is just 1, so I'm not going to worry about it. If it's just 1, you leave it because 1 times anything is itself. So I go with the variables. This has x3, x4, x5, so they all have at least 3 x's, so I do x3. This one has a y2, a y, and a y3, so they all have y's again, but this one only has 1, so I can only take out 1. Now I write what's left. x3's cancel, y2, y1, this one is just y, plus, I didn't touch the numbers, so I'm going to leave my 3 there. x4, x3, this one is just 1x. And then y and y, they cancel, so I just move to plus 5, x3, x5, x3, then this with x2, and y3, y, just leaves me with y2, because 3 minus 1 is 2. And that's my answer. Alright, I'm going to do one more example. And this. So we're going to do example number 3, where I have 3x to the 6th power minus 9x squared plus 3x. Look at all the number parts. I have 3, a 9, and a 3. The biggest number that can go into all three of those is 3. Oops, I'm moving ahead of myself. Now, x6, x squared, x, they all have an x. At least one x, so I put an x. I can only take out one because this only has 1 here. Now I divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. x6 divided by x is just x to the 5th power, so 1x5 or just x5. Minus 9 divided by 3 is 3. X squared divided by x is just x left. And then plus 3x divided by 3x, they cancel, but you don't do this. What's wrong with this is there's a 0 here. Now if I was to distribute this, I should get this phrase here. So 3x times x5 is 3x6. 3x times negative 3x is negative 9x squared. 3x times 0 is 0, not 3x. So what you should write is 1, because 3x divided by 3x is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. Now, that is how you factor using the GCF. This should always be step 1 in factoring, no matter what it is factoring. If you can do a greatest common factor, if all these terms have something in common that you can factor out, then you must do this step first. Now, special case. Oops. If I don't click the wrong thing, bear with me. I want to show you a special case here. So, what if I cannot factor? So like, here's example 4. I'll do one more example. What if it says something like 3x plus 2y plus 5? I look at all my number parts and I see that, oh, yeah, there's 3, 2, and 5. The only thing that can go into that, all three of those terms is 1. Okay? And then look at my variable part, x, y, even no variable. Yeah, they don't have a common thing. There's nothing that they all have in common. So what do I do at that point? The answer is you write prime. If it cannot be factored, it is prime. That is what you write, that is the answer. So non-factorable means it's prime. Alright, now that we've gone over it, I want you to remember that you need to do the iExcel, log into your iExcel, and you're going to select Math, Algebra 1, Section AA2. And you should have problems that deal with factoring using the greatest common factor. Alright, good luck.